Law is supreme. India has a vast and complex legal system, and there are numerous important case laws that have shaped Indian jurisprudence over the years. Here are a few landmark case laws that are widely considered to be among the most significant in India. Kesavananda Bharti vs. State of Kerala, 1973. This case is widely considered to be one of the most significant in Indian constitutional law. In this case, the Supreme Court held that the power of Parliament to amend the constitution was not unlimited, and that certain basic features of the constitution, such as secularism and the democratic structure, could not be amended. Maneka Gandhi vs. Union of India, 1978. In this case, the Supreme Court held that the right to travel abroad was a fundamental right under the constitution, and that any law restricting this right must meet certain basic standards of reasonableness and fairness. ADM Jabalpur vs. Shivkant Shukla, 1976. This case, also known as the habeas corpus case, is significant for upholding the suspension of the right to habeas corpus during the emergency period in India, 1975 to 1977. However, it has also been criticized for limiting the power of the judiciary to protect fundamental rights. Olga Tallis vs. Bombay Municipal Corporation, 1985. In this case, the Supreme Court held that the right to livelihood was a fundamental right under the Constitution, and that any law or policy affecting the right to livelihood must be reasonable, just, and fair. Manorva Mills vs. Union of India, 1980. This case is significant for striking down certain provisions of the 42nd Amendment to the Constitution, which sought to limit the power of the judiciary and expand the powers of the Parliament. Shah Bano case, 1985. This case dealt with the issue of maintenance for Muslim women after divorce. The Supreme Court held that Muslim women were entitled to maintenance under the Code of Criminal Procedure, regardless of the personal law applicable to them. Vishakha vs. State of Rajasthan, 1997. This case is significant for establishing guidelines to prevent sexual harassment of women in the workplace. The Supreme Court held that employers have a duty to provide a safe and secure working environment for women, and that sexual harassment at the workplace constitutes a violation of their fundamental right to equality. Golaknath vs. State of Punjab, 1967. In this case, the Supreme Court held that the Parliament could not amend the Constitution in a manner that would abridge the fundamental rights of citizens. This case led to the passing of the 24th Amendment to the Constitution, which sought to limit the impact of this decision. Ahmad Khan vs. Shah Bano Begum, 1985. This case dealt with the issue of maintenance for divorced Muslim women. The Supreme Court held that Muslim women were entitled to maintenance under the provisions of the Indian Constitution, regardless of the personal law applicable to them. S.R. Bommai vs. Union of India, 1994. This case is significant for establishing the principle of federalism in India, and for limiting the power of the central government to dismiss state governments on vague and arbitrary grounds. The Supreme Court held that the power to dismiss state governments must be used sparingly, and only in cases of grave constitutional crisis. These are just a few examples of important case laws in India. There are many more cases that have had a significant impact on Indian law and society, and the list could go on. Thanks for watching. Please subscribe our channel.